Hey, morning everyone. I felt super inspired to drop a short video around clarity, specifically around the feedback that came around what's most challenging for people to find the clarity that they need and want. Thanks so much for those who responded to the poll. The top two things came out as firstly, actually finding the space and time to figure things out, and then the second being resolving conflicting thoughts. I've got a couple of resources on resolving conflicting thoughts, which I'll share a little bit later, but I'll focus on the highest thing first. And Mary Beth, I love what you said around it's probably more about making the space and time, which is such a great insight. So what I'm going to do is just spend a couple of minutes just talking about some really tactical things that you can do to start to help you find that space. And I often like to put it into two buckets. One is like the space to prep, like how you're going to get clear, and then there's the actual space to get clear on what you want. The prepping part's really, really important because it actually allows you to lead into that clarity from I guess, a stronger point. Because often what we try to do is we have this big goal and then we go, oh my gosh, I have to dedicate like 5 hours to figure it out, which is a lot of pressure, a lot of time, which many people don't have. So if you can spend 5-10 minutes prepping for what you're going to do when you get to that clarity, and prepping in a way where you become clear about what it is you're trying to achieve, you know what success looks like, you feel motivated to do it, and you kind of know what you need to address straight up, then when it gets to creating that space, it becomes more compelling, a lot clearer, and you feel more invigorated to do it. So starting with the prep, again, it could take 5 minutes, it could take 15 minutes, depends how deeply you want to think, but it could take all of 5 minutes. And there are really 4 questions that I like to ask just to get almost clear on what you're trying to get clarity on. The first is like just the goal, which I think a lot of you already have, but it's trying to get as specific on the goal as possible. So moving from, well, I need to figure out what I want to do next year to something more specific, which is my goal specifically is to get clear about what job I want to transition to next year by the middle of the year, right? So getting as specific as you can, recognizing that that will continue to evolve. The second, and we often forget this, we go goal, action. But the second is then to go, what does success look like? In the consulting world, we talk about being output driven, because if you know what your output looks like, what success looks like, it becomes so much clearer to get there. So in the example that I gave, what that might sound like is, well, for this stage of the goal, success looks like having a clear list of 3 potential options and prioritizing the one that I want and the one that I really, really feel compelled to, as well as the reasons why that's most important, right? Now I know exactly what success looks like for me. For some other people, success might be, well, I just have a feeling of absolute confidence and assuredness in the thing that I already kind of think that I want to go into, and it's that feeling that's success. But it's getting really clear on what success looks like for you in this moment, which then goes into the third question, which is, why is this important for you? And that might be, well, it's important because it's a bottleneck at the moment. If I don't figure out what I want to do, I can't take action. Or it could be, well, if I don't feel really, really assured, then it's just giving me a headache. It's just stressful. I want to feel that peace of knowing that things are all right. Okay? And the thing about figuring out why it's important to you and why it's so important for you now is that that's part of the motivating factor, right? Now I'm connected to this goal beyond just this arbitrary thing that I've got on my to-do list. It's something that I really, really feel excited to do, and I understand why it's important to me and why it's important to me now. The other great thing about the importance question is that some people get here and they're like, yeah, it's not that important, right? Something else is more important. And then you start to figure out what is the most important goal. And you're trying to get that connection to why it's important so that it becomes so much easier to do. And then the fourth thing is, I love this question, it always gets people thinking, what is it that I believe I need to address or resolve in order to achieve that goal? And this is all about focus, right? Goals can be huge, and we go goal to action, and it's just way too far. But now if I say, here's my goal, here's what success looks like, here's why it's important to me, and here's what I need to address, I'm now pinpointing exactly what I need to figure out in order to get to the result that I want, right? And it also breaks the things down in a way where it doesn't feel as overwhelming. So for example, you might be like, well, the only thing I really need to figure out is what do I do in the interim when I'm moving from this current role to the next one? Or the real thing that's getting me stuck is what are my transferable skills and how do I share that, right? Now we're getting really, really clear about what's the thing that you need to resolve, as opposed to just this big goal of like, I need to figure out my whole life next year. And it may even be a feeling as well, right? It might be, well, the thing I need to resolve is having the confidence to reach out to people so that I can be in a good position to attract the type of executives who would want to hire me. All right? So I'm going to go through those 4 things again. So remember, first, it's getting as specific on your goal as you can. Second, talking about asking yourself, what success looks like. So how will you know that you've been successful in achieving that goal? Third, just thinking about what is it, why is this goal so important to you, or what's meaningful about this goal for you? And the fourth is then saying, what is it that you believe you need to address or resolve in order to achieve the goal? That's just the prep work, right? It could take 5 minutes. Don't overthink this, right? You already know what it is. You're probably the one holding yourself back a little bit. Take a few minutes, just think about it. And once you know what you need to address, now it's pinpointed and just block out time, right? As I said, if a senior client came up and was like, I need an hour of your time tomorrow, you would make the time. If your best friend came up and said, hey, I just need 30 minutes to speak to you because I'm going through something difficult, you would probably make that time. You are just as important. Your goals are just as important. So if you do nothing else right now, block off an hour, block off 30 minutes, block off 2 hours. I don't really care how long you block off. Block off some time because you deserve to take the time to figure out what you want your goals to be. All right, that was a little longer than I planned, but hopefully that was helpful. Let me know in the comments and I'll speak soon. Bye.